Hey everybody, welcome to my Let's Play series. This is the very first episode of the very first game that I'm deciding to do. It is going to be Dragon Warrior 4 for the original Nintendo. This was also known as a Dragon Quest series, but had to be changed in the United States to Dragon Warrior due to some copywriting issues with a tabletop game that was already named Dragon Quest. Um, I love these games because they're classic JRPGs. They really defined the genre and really helped the RPG become what the RPG is as we know it today. So I'm going to do some explaining as we go along. I'm going to be talking a lot, and sometimes I'm not going to talk at all because I kind of get wrapped up in the gameplay. But either way, I hope you enjoy. So here we go. And as you can see, this game is by Enix. That is, as we all know now, Square Enix. Before Enix was purchased by Square. So we are going to start a new adventure here, and I'm going with my default name that I always use, Darian. Don't ask me why, it's just kind of always been that way. And we are going to be a male, and we are going to have fast message speed. And this game is broken up into 5 chapters, and here we start in Chapter 1 in the country of Berland. We are playing as Ragnar, the Royal Soldier. And the king is going to speak to us, so we have to pay attention. And he's telling us that children have been vanishing recently from Ismet village, and he cannot ignore the problem, and so he's having us, the royal soldiers, go look. So we are going to wander off here. And as this is a JRPG, and an old school one at that, it does come with quite a substantial amount of grinding for experience and gold very frequently in the game. So for those really boring spots, I do apologize. But it's just part of the game, so we're just going to have to deal with it. And now we're going to talk to this woman here named Flora, who's looking for her husband Alex, who has not returned from his last trip, and that is important because it is required to move on in the story with the chapter in just a little bit, as we will find out. And the first thing we need to do before we do anything else is we need to grind out here immediately. Yes, immediately grinding outside of the castle here in order to hopefully quickly obtain level 3, and that will make things significantly easier progressing, as we'll have a little bit higher attack and a little bit higher health pool, so we'll have to spend less time frequenting the use of medical herbs or inns in towns. So we're gonna slaughter some creatures of the woods here that have gone a little crazy, as is the basic trope. X evil influence in the world has caused creatures to do Y thing that they don't normally do, so we must stop X evil thing to stop Y thing from happening. In this case, evil thing causing bad things to happen. In this little country, it's causing the monsters to get a little crazy, and it's causing something to have children disappear. Stereotypical slime. Dragon Warrior / Quest was the origin of the slime in video games, I do believe, if not the very origin, probably the most famous actual origin point of it. So, may not be the origin, but definitely had a place. Chapter 1 is a relatively boring chapter, in that the character we're playing as has one thing to do and one thing only, and that's attack his enemies. There's no magic involved, you have one character to control, very straightforward. Attack and move on. It does make your decision making very small, very minute. What should I do here? Oh, I think I should press the button to attack. And we've leveled up to 2. We gain 2 strength to hit things harder, vitality to make our health go up faster in earlier levels, 2 additional hit points to take more of a beating, and we did gain 1 agility point, and the agility stat is good for determining who goes first in a fight. Ragnar is by default very slow, so every point of agility helps. but as you can see, very frequently we're having enemies act before us because we are so slow. Babbles are a little tricky because sometimes they hit a little harder, and when they do hit, they can potentially poison those that they hit, which is a bad thing for us because it means every couple of steps we take damage. And you either have to go to a house of healing and get detoxed and pay gold, or you have to use an antidote herb in order to cure that ailment. The only benefit is they do give about twice as much experience as anything else around here. We're gonna push ourselves to the limit here and stretch our hit points just to the absolute maximum they'll go, in hopes that we hit level 3 before we need to go to the inn, so we can be at max hit points, fresh level 3, in order to travel to Ismet. Oh, this is going to be close. Good, we attacked first. Which means we should level up. Nope, not quite, but we do have to hit the inn anyways. Being at only 3 hit points is not at all desirable. But we should be close enough that we can just risk it. Go up to Ismet. We should hit level 3 on the way, which will have a little bit less total hit points to deal with on the way because you don't go to full life or gain those hit points in these old games. But, you know, halfway through we'll gain the strength to kill the little bit tougher enemies in one hit, and even slimes we're not killing in one hit. So hopefully when we do level up here, we have a good level up and gain more than 1 or 2 points of strength. That would be ideal. We are going to go into this cave just in front of us here to take us across the river to the village of Ismet. And there's level 3. 2 strength, 1 agility, some more vitality, and some more hit points. It's pretty much every level Ragnar gets. Staple abilities. You'd just like to see a little more hit points and a little more strength, especially this early on. Makes our lives a little easier moving forward. We are going to go ahead and go through this cave. And healers are obnoxious because they have this strange tendency to heal themselves constantly, which you need to rely on hitting second one turn and then first the next, or first 2 turns in a row where they don't heal themselves on the first turn. It's really irritating. We got kind of lucky to get out of that one fast that time. Excuse me. This music is very addicting to me. I hear it. I hear the tones from it and the patterns from it so frequently in music, especially in electronica, where they tend to use a lot of 8-bit patterns and sound samples, which is probably a big reason why I like electronica so much. We did get a medical herb from that chest, and as the name would indicate, it is an edible herb that restores your hit points. It has medical properties. So that's a good thing to have, because when we get low on hit points, if we're not near a town, we can pop one of those down the hatch and recover some hit points so we don't die. Because while the penalty may not be as large for dying in this as it is in some games and RPGs, it takes you back to the last point you saved in terms of location, and you lose half of your gold pieces. And gold is a hard commodity to come by in the old Dragon Warrior games. You need every bit of it to get every bit of gear that you can. And here's the obnoxious heal fight. Heal, heal, heal. Oh, he decided to attack us. Allowed us to get the kill in. And I'm going to push my luck just a little bit with the hit points in hopes that I can just make it to Ismet here. And boom, we did. So we are now going to hit the inn and restore our hit points back up to full. And we are going to take the opportunity to save over here. And yes, we are going to continue. And we are going to come out here, and we need to make it turn to nighttime. It's very important because the next little thing we need to do requires it be nighttime in order for it to trigger. And I hate that. Accidentally stepping the wrong direction one tile too early when you're just trying to stay right next to town to push time or grind on enemies when you're right there and conveniently close to an inn is frustrating. Yeah, we're gonna definitely need to hope that we get a bigger strength increase on our next level up, because it sucks having to spend money on a new weapon this early, but having everything take 2 hits is also super undesirable, because that's just more and more turns in the same fight that the enemy gets to hit you. And oh, this could get a little painful. We're looking at about 4 to 9 points of damage every turn. Now we're looking at 2 to 6. Okay, so I can eliminate him. Very good. Oh, good. Critical hit. Perfect. And oh, that's really unfortunate. I really hope this medical herb goes off before they both attack. Excellent. That was a lifesaver, quite literally. And wow, they're very reinforcement happy. I don't want to run from the fight because we'll lose all of the experience and gold from killing all of the ones we've killed to this point. And this is a lot at this point, so we're going to really try and avoid doing that. We just need them to stop calling for reinforcements now. We don't have any medical herbs left, so we really can't have another reinforcement come in and still survive the fight. Looks like we might get our wish at F. A, B, C, D, E, F. That means 6 dive rats. That was a little bit of an adventure. We did give us a level up, though, which is good. And there's a good level. 4 strength and 6 hit points. It's very good. Now, I don't want to stay at the inn because it'll reset the day timer. So I'm just going to buy a medical herb. And I'm going to buy a second one just in case. But I'm going to use one so that we do not have to worry about our health. But I just really have no desire to reset the day timer because of that reason right there. So we are going to get this little event to trigger. And we find out that this is Alex, and he's very scared and in prison here in Ismet. And that means that we get to tell his wife he's here. And we will do that the next time in episode 2, because we are almost at the 15-minute mark, and I'm going to try to keep these around 15 minutes to keep everybody interested. So we are going to save, and then we are going to not continue our quest. And I will say thank you everybody for tuning in. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more updates when they come out. And if you don't, thanks for at least watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Adios.